Yes Have Some podcast is brought to you by Carnivorous Creations, your one-stop shop for all of your Proton Pack building needs. If you're in the market for a Proton Pack, head to carnivorouscreations.com. That's carnivorous with a K. You're going to find aluminum motherboards, resin parts, fiberglass shells, and a whole lot more. Find them on Facebook at Carnivorous Creations or head straight to carnivorouscreations.com, remember carnivorous with a K, and get started on an authentic, screen-accurate Proton Pack.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
We got one!
It's time for another episode of Yes Have Some podcast.
Look at, I'm in really bad shape. Come on, please, please.
Your weekly pop culture therapy session.
Give me. I need.
Subscribe on iTunes by searching for Yes Have Some in the iTunes store or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast.
Sick vandalism. That is a deliberate mutilation of a public service message.
And now, hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed with your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
We're mutants. There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 59 of Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. I am here in Atlanta, Georgia. As always.
Yes.
Yes. With Abigail Gardner.
59.
Who's 59 years old today.
Yes.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
And Jacob Walsh. She's also 59 years old.
Yeah.
Am I? Oh, man.
Twins.
And you got very rude of our listeners to just jump in the middle of our conversation about Stephen King.
Yeah, what the fuck, guys?
Apparently, if you're going to attend Stephen King's book signing in Milwaukee and you're Jewish like me and observing Yom Kippur, I never read the rest of the frequently asked questions. What is it because...
The question is, I'm an observant Jew and celebrate Yom Kippur. Stephen King is my favorite author. What should I do?
Oh, so they're saying this event is happening on our holiday. Mm-hmm. Well, that's stupid.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like...
Go or don't.
Yeah,
Why should they make your decision
early,
for you?
So they're
because they can't go out till by the way, I am Jewish.
I was also only reading this because I thought it might get me some free extra stuff, and I was willing to go and possibly convert.
Well,
if I could guaranteed meet Stephen King and get a book signed, because it's looking really like the odds are slim to get a signed copy, so I'm getting stressed.
Well, out of the three of us... Well,
by the way, we're stepping all over my stress right now.
Okay, well, we'll wait.
We'll say that.
We'll wait on that. We'll wait on the Stephen King. All I'm saying is, it's a little weird that Stephen King would have an event that starts before nightfall. You know, he's a spooky guy.
You think it'd be a lot later? But he gets to bed early. He's got to watch his baseball from his chair and then read the paper.
Yeah. I bet he reads the paper.
Talk to Tabby for a while.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. What's up?
We're recovering.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks.
From Ghostbusters Day?
From Ghostbusters Day.
All the announcements and the news.
There's so much good stuff happening.
I'm exhausted from all the information.
I just rolled around and, we've got the new animated movie was announced, Ecto Force, Ghostbusters 4, Ghost Sun Patrol.
Oh.
Hey, about that.
Yeah.
So there was,
We're being facetious, by the way.
Let's talk about it.
The
Q&A happened.
Yes.
And Ivan Reitman said, just a tiny, you know what, maybe we'll mix, maybe we'll merge everything in the next movie. He wasn't, but have you guys seen, there's headline after headline that says Ghostbusters 4 to merge universes, old, new cast. It's over and over. I keep seeing and I'm like, guys.
Dude, is Chris Pratt's face popping up too? Because I feel like it should.
Yeah, it's that thing, and this is what Troy and Chris talked about on the Cross Rip this week.
It's called context. A lot of people don't use it. They take things out of context.
It's like clickbait, right? So with the whole Dan Aykroyd, Paul Feig thing, all of the article headlines were much more vicious than what was actually said. So yeah, Ivan Reitman slightly alluded to possibly wanting to merge the universes in some form or fashion. Never mentioned whether that was going to be by movie, book, comic book, TV show, animated, whatever. And then, all these articles are saying, Ghostbusters 4 to merge universes. Fans upset. Fans happy. Jacob Walsh unhappy with context of article.
Right.
It's pretty lame, but hey, guess what? I watched that Q&A, and I knew exactly what all those articles were referencing, and I clicked on all of them.
Yeah, just to see if there was a little piece of something else, right?
One of them said exclusive. I was like, this is not exclusive at all.
It's not.
They probably put that word in every article they do.
Right.
You know who I want to get on the podcast? The guy who was the host of that Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, he's probably fired from whatever job he had after that. So yeah,
I want to know what his life's all about.
Yeah. Let's get him.
We talked about it on the live show a little bit.
Let's hit him up.
He was Ivan was giving him some shit right off the bat. And the funniest, I don't know if we talked about this, but at the beginning of the live stream, they were like revealing all the available products, like the Playmobil toys and T-shirts and DVDs and everything else. But it was going on for a very long time, and Ivan Reitman said something along the lines of like, "I feel like I'm on the Home Shopping Network."
Right?
He did, yeah.
Lori Grenier.
Which made me think I want to watch the Ghostbusters Home Shopping Network.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Dude, I'd host it. I think all three of us would do a fabulous job hosting that.
Yeah.
show.
We would. Yeah.
Except for
Give
First
us
of
that
all, we
job.
get to handle all the
Sony,
merchandise.
you listening?
Yeah.
Eric,
Yes.
give us that job.
Be like Jennifer Lawrence in that movie Joy.
Yeah.
Selling the mops.
Ghostbusters mops.
Yeah, it's very inspirational.
What would be funny is when we get to products that suck, we would not be able to fake it.
For sure.
No, we
And
wouldn't.
be like,
We'd just
this
do it
action
sometime.
figure doesn't stand up, and I don't like it. I'm not going to say which one.
All right, up for sale next. The first 50 callers are going to get this bonus Mr. Potato Head Stay Puft. This is really fucking stupid.
And this one makes no sense. Whoa.
So, Ghostbusters Home Shopping Network with Ivan Reitman. Jake, you brought up this in the past. Ivan Reitman seems a little cranky
A
sometimes.
little bit of a curmudgeon.
Dude, he does seem a little cranky, and it's not some. It's just like he always seems like he's done with anybody's shit ever. Like in that same interview at the beginning, like he's opening up that like basket of toys and stuff like that, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, maybe we'll just set this right here," and Ivan Reitman's immediately like, "No, put it on the floor."
Yeah.
He's like, "Put it down." He just always seems like he's like
He doesn't take any shit.
like he
wears
doesn't. He's just
tennis
like,
shoes
why
with his, like,
why am
suit
I the
coat?
only person here who's not an idiot? That's his attitude.
I think he's like 70 and he's just kind of over it. And I'm sure sometimes he's amazed like that his office is just a Ghostbusters office. Like what he's like, what am I doing?
Right. I think back to him at the trailer event when he was making his way around like the tables when everybody was like eating their Ghostbusters themed buffet, which by the way was amazing in and of itself. But it felt like a Ghostbusters like a wedding or something. And, like he was making his way around like sitting and talking to everyone. And I know we've told the story before, but Craig like asked him point blank like, so what's the future for Ghostbusters? Like, are you connecting the universes? And like he started to answer, but then I think like pretty much came
was
back.
cut off?
Yeah, he was cut off. Like somebody interrupted him.
Uncle Ivan's had a couple,
Yeah.
vodka tonics, and he's talking
Exactly.
about the future of Ghostbusters again.
Yeah. So for as much shit as we're giving him, he did seem like super nice and like,
Ivan Reitman's
upfront.
the man. I love him. Like if I
Dude,
if I
he's
could
awesome.
spend an afternoon with Ivan or Dan, I think I'd pick Ivan.
100%.
I think.
Well, actually, I don't know what would happen with Dan Aykroyd, and I'm kind of down for the ride at this point. Now that we've talked about the Dan rotation as much as we have,
I think there'd be a harmonica involved if you hung out
I
with
think
Dan
you'd be a
Aykroyd.
very long night. I think you'd be up till sunrise.
There was this other thing that happened on, Dan Aykroyd's on his international tour right now with Crystal Head, and he was staying at some hotel the other night, and there was a band playing, and he heard him. He was like going to the bathroom in the lobby, and then he just snuck into the concert and like hung out with the band.
That's awesome.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bill Murray-ish type. I think it's what Chris Stewart
Yeah,
said.
they're
like,
all living legends at this point. They
Yeah.
just do whatever you want.
Do whatever they want.
do what
yeah.
they want.
Very
So yeah,
cool.
the future of Ghostbusters. There's stuff happening. We still don't know what it is. We're probably gonna hear at some point. Until
Yeah.
then, we'll speculate and
Yeah.
we'll guess. But it was cool to see Ernie Hudson. I love Ernie, man. He's the best. It was
Yeah.
funny when Ivan was like complimenting Ernie. He called him a godsend. He said that Ernie was like the missing piece of the movie, and he was giving him all this praise during
Yeah.
the Q&A. And Ernie Hudson was like, "You've never said this stuff to me before."
Yeah, dude, like realistically speaking, isn't there like probably some water under the bridge between the two of them from like just the whole like Winston
Yeah, well, Ernie Hudson,
saga?
he's been pretty vocal about saying that when he first read the script, it was it was a bigger part. And I think Ivan Reitman in the past has kind of denied that. I think Ernie Hudson's come to peace with Ghostbusters. I think there was a time where maybe he was a little resentful of it, but especially the past 10 years. He does the events. He signs the backpacks.
Yeah.
And the jumpsuits.
He can't bring him on the plane, though.
Don't even try.
Don't even try.
So yeah, Ghostbusters
Good
Day.
for him. Good for them. Yes.
It came and went. We had our live show. Thanks to all the people who called. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Several Slimers joined us.
Yeah. All the
Yep.
Slimers.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to do another one of those. It's fun to do those when there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So if we get into another news cycle where there's a lot of late breaking Ghostbusters news, we'll have another live show.
But I like just hearing everyone's stress, honestly. I thought it was kind of cool to hear from everyone. And I think that having our Facebook group, the Yes Have Some Group Therapy, which we've now opened up, is a great place for everyone to come and basically do what we do every week. Like sit down and talk about what's stressing them the fuck out about collectibles and movies and toys and stuff. And I think that's...
Yeah,
been
we
a
have
very
the
cool thing.
we are on the Facebook page. We started the Yes Have Some Group Therapy, and if you ever have some stress, just get in there, let us know, and I think maybe each week we'll find some stuff to talk about.
Dude, if your parents didn't get you an ecto, then like talk about it because we were listening. We've got a lot of people who care.
We're the Yes Have Some Make a Wish Foundation, except for we're not granting wishes. We just want to hear what your wishes are,
Yes.
and then we'll talk about whether or not they're worthy.
Yes.
That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
No.
All right.
Sounds fun.
Sounds
We're
like
going to do
fun.
it anyway.
Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. I saw in there today, like somebody sparked some conversation about like what your favorite Batmobile was. And I was like, I read it. It was the first thing I read this morning. It was like somebody in the Yes Have Some Group Therapy page was like, what is your all-time favorite toy Batmobile? And my original thought was, that is a great question. They're really bringing some heat.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Keep it up.
keep it up.
Bring your A game.
And lastly, before we move on here, apologies. Wait a minute.
What?
My rundown says apologize to Troy Benjamin.
Oh, because we gave him some shit for not calling in. He's busy.
I
I
couldn't
just want to
remember.
say we love you, Troy.
I couldn't remember why we had to apologize to him. I mean, I like offering
You were stirring the
apologies,
pot.
but I don't. If he doesn't, no, we apologize. There was a miscommunication. Last week we had asked Troy to call in for the live show, and he said that he couldn't because he was recording his podcast, and then his co-host called in. But we had it was good. It was all good fun. We had a good conversation with Chris Stewart. And that was nice.
We called him out. It was good.
We called him out. What did we call him out for?
For crossing the country to get Ecto Cooler when he was making fun of Jake. Well, we were making fun of Jake. Jake, sorry, we owe you an apology,
owe
actually.
you- we owe
It's
you-
on next
It's all
on the
right.
docket.
Let's talk about this real quick. So that's funny you mentioned that. Remember a year ago? Think about where we are right now with the world of Ghostbusters compared to where we were a year ago. A year ago, Ecto Cooler came out, and we were all losing our shit.
Yeah. Almost, I think it was a year ago we went to the Southern Fried Gaming Convention because I saw that pop up on my Facebook from my
yeah.
memory from on this day. So
The Georgia
yeah,
Ghostbusters.
It was like Ecto Cooler, the pinball machine was out. We were all looking forward to
Answer the call.
Answer the Call.
Yeah.
And it was big. It was big times. There was a lot of news, and I was watching the trailer a lot.
I specifically remember being like, wow, all this Ghostbuster stuff. Where do you think we'll be a year from now? 1 year later. Yeah, Ernie Hudson seems like he really likes Ghostbusters.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, right.
He seems like he's really come to peace with it.
Right. Paris Hilton's a fan. 1 year later. Right. But we're making progress. It's good.
Cool. All right, cool. So that's our housekeeping notes. I've now made my announcements. Last thing. Proton Pins. New pin company. Awesome stuff. We worked with them. We did a little giveaway. And they sent some pins to us. So check out Proton Pins.
Yeah. The girl who puts them out is awesome.
Yeah,
and
she's great.
Follow her on Instagram, etc.
Enamel pins. There was 2 that she put out. A Slimer pin and a Statue of Liberty Harbor Chick pin.
Yeah, and they're like in kind of like a Sailor Jerry like tattoo style, which is very cool. And also on the package that she sent me, she did like a little hand decorated Happy Ghostbusters Day thing, which I always appreciate because I love when people do like little details on their packages. So
Good stuff. It's
super
really good
nice,
stuff.
super awesome stuff. Go order some; they're very cool.
Very cool. And last but not least, we got our Diamond Select contest going on still. God, we're just giving the house away.
Yeah.
We should give something else away. Not the cats.
No.
No.
You gotta keep the cats,
Can't do that. Gotta keep them.
We'll give out a couch or something. Jake, don't you have an extra
We
couch?
only have one couch.
No, I don't.
okay.
It's our pod couch.
Check out
So we sit
check
on the
out
top.
our Facebook page at facebook.com/yeshavesomecast and check out the Diamond Select giveaway for all those figures.
What a full set.
What unbelievable stuff going on over here.
That's why it's huge.
It's very huge.
It's hard to believe.
It's Keep it away from her.
Gotta.
Okay, cool. And all right, so let's talk Playmobil because it's been a couple weeks. We've been talking a lot of Ghostbusters, but Playmobil has released their full set of Ghostbusters toys. I've never bought a Playmobil toy in my life. I frankly didn't really know what they were. Jake, have you obtained your Playmobil Ghostbusters figures?
Yeah, I have. I bought, the whole set, and dude, they're kind of amazing. Okay. Like it's so weird that they're just like, they're little kid toys. And I remember when we first heard they were coming out, Greg, me and you were like into Toys R Us looking at like the other Playmobil figures.
Yeah.
And I remember we were like, "Oh shit! They got a cop car, they got a fire truck. We're gonna get all.
Gonna get us hockey players,
dude. That cop car is great because the little cop it comes with has a cool mustache.
Yeah,
I like that.
Do they have a cabbie?
There is a cab one too.
Cab?
Yeah.
Gotta get one of those.
So yeah, Playmobil they announced these like a year ago or something, and it was always kind of like, oh, that'll be cool. But man, they're really cool.
Yeah,
they
like
are. Yeah.
I got a text from my brother that was like, "Those Playmobil toys are the shit." Like, it was after I put up a story of like just on Instagram, like a little video of them. And that Ecto one is like the sound and everything. It's possibly the best one. That's what I feel like most people are saying. Like, it's like one of the best versions of that, and I just absolutely love it.
Well, Jake, we talked about that the other day. So there's been a lot of variations of the Ecto one released in toy form over the years. So let's just talk about it real quick. Hot take. Is the Ecto 1 by Playmobil the greatest Ecto 1 that has ever been released?
Is it the only one that has removable slime? Because I think that's the game changer right there, y'all.
I bet they came out with that what was it, the Hot Wheels Ecto 1 came out a couple years ago maybe.
Yeah.
And it's probably super amazing, super detailed, but it's also like super expensive.
Yeah, it's a couple $100.
This Ecto 1 is it's Playmobil. It was like $44 and it's kind of amazing. Like it looks good. The proportions look all pretty on, like they look all pretty right, and that's the real Ghostbusters toys that came out like in the 80s. The Ecto is so squished looking.
Yeah.
It's just like the proportions are all silly, and that's fine. But this, it's like
stylized. Yeah,
they weren't just trying to make a stupid little toy. They're like, oh wait, they made an actual fun Ecto.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, you get to put it together, which is really fun.
Yeah. And they put Janine in a uniform, which is fucking awesome. And that makes me so happy because I've been doing that. That was like one of my first costumes that was Ghostbusters related, was like the Janine in a flight suit. And I did her in a khaki flight suit too. So like that is just that makes me so happy. That figure in and of herself that sells the whole set, which we bought like slowly because we were acting like we were gonna like slow roll the whole thing. I was like, we're not gonna get all of these at once. But then we kept going back to Toys R Us like night after night after night, like all in the same week, until we had to mass them all. So
it was funny. The Ecto is the last thing we got, and I think that's the same for you too, Jake. And Winston only comes with the Ecto, and there's no variant, so that's the only Winston. So we had everything set up, including the firehouse, and we were looking at it, and Abby's like, hey, they left Winston out again. I was like, damn it. He comes with the Ecto. So, the Ecto one looks really good. It just, guys, it looks so good that I considered not even displaying it with the other Playmobil toys and putting it on a different shelf.
The fancy shelf.
Shelf.
The one where the Stephen King books are.
I also think the Stay Puft looks really good. Like he's a little cartoony, but he looks good. It's a good figure. I haven't put the firehouse together yet. It's still in the box. Okay. I just haven't sat down. to do it yet. Yeah, that's what I heard. So
Yeah, and they did a really. I think it's cool the way they did the firehouse because it doesn't like open like the Lego firehouse. It's just one half of it is just open space, and it looks really good. All the little accessories are cool. All the figures are cool. Vince Clortho, Zool. Oh, I guess she doesn't come with the firehouse, but
no, she's on.
She comes with
yeah,
this, so.
but it all looks really good. So Playmobil really
hot
did it.
dog stand.
I love the hot dog
so
stand.
Cute.
Slimer, all those little hot dogs, little bottles of Coke,
cute.
and that guy running the hot dog stand, he's got to put up with Slimer.
You know, he's just trying to line that pocket. He's got to keep a job. So he's got a lot to do. I love those figures. They make me very happy. The firehouse is awesome. And
Yeah.
And
it's such a different experience than our most recent experience with an actual line of Ghostbusters toys was the Answer the Call stuff from last year, which was all cool, and it all came out, and we bought it all, but, like, it almost was like we're buying it out of obligation. Like, this was more like, well, these are kids' toys. They're going to have to really make a good product for me to, like, shell out.
Yeah, like the first time we looked at them in our Toys R Us, it was like just to casually kind of peruse, like as if we weren't going to buy them all.
Let me ask you guys
So
this.
what's it going to feel?
Let's see. We're all in our early 30s. I think I'm the oldest of the three of us. How does it feel to go into the Playmobil section of Toys R Us knowing that you're buying stuff for yourself?
It feels good. Like, I was, like,
It's
spitefully
fine,
looking
yeah.
at all
I
the
was
other
excited.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
the rest of this Playmobil stuff is stupid. Like, I don't need that. But I definitely need all these Ghostbusters toys because they were awesome.
And the way
It's just-
go for it, Jake.
No, I was just gonna say it's always cool to get new Ghostbuster products, and I know like the movie came out and we did get a lot of Ghostbuster stuff, but it was 90% specifically for Answer the Call, and that's fine. It was still exciting, but it's even more exciting to get new products from the original. It just doesn't happen as much. We got a couple things when Answer the Call came out, but it's just fun to be like, oh, it's whatever 30 years later,
Right.
and we're getting a whole new line. And it's the same with like Diamond Select. It's just like we're getting new Ghostbuster toys.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fun no matter what. And then on top of that, they're pretty cool. Like they're pretty well made. Like I don't care as much about just like the little like human figures, like those whatever, but just the car, the staple, like everything else looks amazing. And it's
does look
fun.
amazing. And Playmobil's done a really good job marketing it. There was like a little cartoon and a little mobile game. And I know they did an interview, I think it was on the Cross Rip, where they were like, hey, if it sells well, we'll do Ghostbusters 2.
Oh
And
my god, that'd be amazing.
Shit.
I have to imagine that these are
Scolari
selling.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Yes.
because like
a little baby Oscar.
oh, he's so tiny.
Ooh.
But for Playmobil, they're traditionally like a kid's,
Little French bread pizza.
oh,
This would be so cute.
Super
I want that Playmobil
Super Mario
toaster.
Brothers. But yeah, I would, because for them to break it, like it's not just kids buying this, like collectors are buying this, and
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
selling really well.
Yes.
So
It's so satisfying, that haul picture of like all the packages, like because the packaging is awesome, and seeing them all together,
Yeah.
it's like yes.
The other thing that's probably the best thing about it is you could buy this whole series and it's not that expensive.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's you can get it a little at a time, which it's fine, but it's all really reasonably priced, which is amazing.
I think it's almost too cheap because like it was all
you want to send them some more money?
no, but I'm saying here's what it is. It's a German company. I'm Jewish. There's already a little bit of
Whoa.
tension, and I just think that
Stephen King should
right into it.
understand and just make
yeah,
his
it's Yom
signing
Kippur.
later.
I'm buying my Playmobil. No, but for real, they're just doing an awesome job. And like the Egon figures, like $7. The Slimer with the stand, the hot dog stand, is like $14. Like,
Yeah.
and even the Firehouse, which is a big play set, is like $70. And then Toys R Us's website today had buy one get one half off on all Playmobiles. So like,
Yeah, and they even threw in that like free weird piece that didn't make any sense to anybody
Oh,
that we
yeah.
couldn't identify. But Chris Sheets, I think,
Yeah.
shout out to him for identifying
Yep.
that.
yep.
Figured it out.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's a great toy set. They display really well. And Jake, you just brought up Diamond Select, so if we're going to talk about Ghostbusters toys, we might as well keep it going.
Yeah.
Diamond Select this week is releasing the last 3 figures for the diorama play set for the Gozer's Temple.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for 2 years. 15 figures in 2 years. They're moving straight into Ghostbusters 2.
I'm pretty behind on this. It's depressing. I'm pretty behind. Yeah.
Well, there was Chuck, who runs Diamond Select, they did a Q&A. They do one every month. And somebody asked him about making Kenner-inspired real Ghostbusters figures after the Ghostbusters 2 figures. And his response was, we're not going to do anything related to Kenner, but we are focused on Ghostbusters 2 and real Ghostbusters.
Real Ghostbusters, right. That's your loophole right there.
Oh, okay. So they might do something based on the cartoon, but they can't like remake the old figures, but they can make stuff based on the cartoon.
Well, if you think about it, the original Kenner line is amazing, and it's all of us have like such a special place in our heart. But most of those figures had nothing to do with what was happening on the series.
It was just all new stuff.
Like there was no Sam Hain or Grundle figure or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Or People Busters or whatever, Citizen Ghost, whatever was going on in the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Fearsome Flush.
But yeah, there was Fearsome Flush and Granny Ghost and Fright Features. So, dude, if they do the whole Ghostbusters 2 line and then they do a real Ghostbusters line, I mean,
that'd be cool.
We're talking like this has potential to be one of the greatest Ghostbusters toy lines of all time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there.
Yeah, and if the real Ghostbusters figures come with like a build, like a put together set,
what
like
would
a
be the
diorama,
diorama
that's what
for
I was
that?
just thinking. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
think about that one.
Maybe they'll just put out an Ecto for the real Ghostbusters figure.
That'd be cool.
That
yeah.
would be really cool.
Lots of stuff happening in the world of Ghostbusters toys, which is a good thing. We might not have any movies or TV shows on the immediate horizon, but there's plenty to buy.
Yes.
And that's good for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Did anybody, before we move on to some stress, did anybody buy anything else recently? Any other new acquisitions?
I think you're trying to. Are you trying to get me to talk about my Raphael here?
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, I came across.
We got to talk
We did
NECA.
not talk.
We've talked about these things a lot, and I did come across the Raphael in the what's the scale on these? What is it? I'm not sure.
It's one fourth scale.
1/4, yeah. So I found the Raphael, picked it up, and it's amazing, dude. Like these figures look so good. I guess the Leonardo is supposed to be released like I think this week, like tomorrow maybe. It's supposed to be out. I feel like I saw something about it. But yeah, but 2 down, 2 to go. You gotta pick them up, man. They look amazing.
Well, NECA's killing it.
They're doing it.
Yeah, they are.
What I love about NECA, if you're a toy collector, pay attention to NECA's Twitter account because it's literally like an all-day, everyday Q&A about upcoming releases, what they'll do, what they won't do. My favorite is people ask, like, hey, are you going to do any more Prometheus figures? And the guy's like, nope.
Dude, I want to know who's asking that question.
Also, I meant to tell you this guy, or this one. Somebody was like, I really like your Alien Covenant figures. What did you think of the movie? And his response was, I think we made a great line of figures.
Oh my God. That is awesome.
So
talk to that guy.
NECA's pretty
Very
awesome.
succinct.
And NECA has been revealing all of their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, including, I don't know if we talked about it because it happened in the last week or two. They did, the way licensing works and the rights to put out figures are really weird. So they have the rights to do 6-inch Ninja Turtles figures as exclusive and as an exclusive for Comic-Con. So they're putting out, they did the video game figures last year. This year they're doing the 4 Turtles animation style with Krang and Shredder and 2 Foot Soldiers. And it's like an 8-pack that's in like a vintage style vinyl carrying case.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I love those cases.
I know. You're a case girl.
I got a little collection. The artwork is always so cool on those.
It's $200. It's an exclusive, but you can pre-order. There's like a loophole where you can. There's only they're making like 5,000 of them, and it's insanely cool. Like, what else can you say? They're making these amazing highly detailed 1/4 inch, 1/4 scale figures. They now have this Ninja Turtles 6-inch figures, and I don't know, what can you say? NECA's the best toy company. They're making the best stuff. They've got all the Predator figures coming out, all the Alien
Number
figures.
one crush.
They've got the other exclusive they revealed to go along with their Bill and Ted figures is the Death figure.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So props to NECA.
Yeah.
And to everybody.
Well, yeah, everyone, but NECA mostly.
Sure.
And Playmobil.
Playmobil's doing good.
Diamond Select.
Diamond Select, great.
And Mattel.
You
No.
cute.
Mattel ain't that. Mattel ain't cute.
You need to check yourself and just think about things for a minute.
So yeah, that's
back
what's
to
going
you.
on in the toy world. I think that was it. I was trying to think if we've gotten anything new, print wise, toy wise. It's been a little bit more low key. So yeah, and as a follow up to the Mondo Ghostbusters poster that was released last week, or at least unveiled, there's been no information about on sale dates or anything. So we're trying to answer the call.
Yeah, we just can't find it. But I do want that.
I hate coffee.
I hate coffee.
All right, you guys
I
ready?
almost put Answer the Call on today.
Tell us about that. Real
Well, I've
quick.
been reading the GB, the 101, the
Oh,
IDW
yeah.
comics, because, we released that teaser image on Facebook today, but apparently there's going to be some, explanation of, the universes, the multiverse.
Oh yeah.
How everything, coincides and all that kind of stuff. So I went and, I was reading them, and there's parts that, I like about Answer the Call, and, there's just something about it that, makes me want to, I don't know. I'm going to give it, I'm gonna give it another viewing this week, and I think I'm gonna see what I'm feeling and get back to you guys.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Jake, did you see that image?
From the comic book?
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I'm still not exactly sure what they're trying to do here, but I don't know how canon the comics are with the movie, sure, it'd be cool, but
Right.
What does it really mean?
Spoiler warning: if you want to turn this down, it's for issue 4, which hasn't come out yet. So take 30 seconds to go get yourself a snack, or don't. I don't care. But if you do, get sharp cheddar cheese. It's very delicious.
It's good.
It's vegan.
Cracker.
So they already revealed how the multiverse was established in the comic, which has to do with Gozer. So we already went over that, but. Basically, this one was, they've crossed over into the GB 1984 world, and Aaron Gilbert is having the realization that Peter and Ray and Winston are awfully familiar. And she says something along the lines of, no, that's Martin Heiss, the cab driver, and Patty's uncle.
Right.
So they're kind of hinting at alternate versions of the Ghostbusters. It's stuff we've talked about a million times.
Right.
But Jake, like you just said, is it canon? Is it just for the comic book? Will it matter going forward?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Does it make up for? Is it too little, too late?
I like that they're making the effort. And I talked to John.
Me too.
I talked to John Yerkay the other day. I was like, hey man, what if in Answer the Call there was a post-credit scene, and we were talking about you just see the mayor talking. And John said, then the mayor turns around. He's like, the word's getting out. We have to do something about this. And it's just Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. They're like, all right, let's do it. And it just ended.
Dude, that would be amazing. That would dude, I just got excited about that.
That's imagine, I think the way John described it is okay, post-credit scene of Answer the Call. It's close up in the mayor's office. He's talking about all the events that unfolded, but you don't see who he's talking to.
Right.
And then the camera pans around. It's just the three of them. And there's no. It's just you understand what's happening.
Yeah.
That's like a Marvel stinger.
Bill Murray's like, fine.
Right. I'm fine.
Cuts to black.
How don't you think that 30-second scene would have solved a million problems?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But
or hey, Craig, or what if there was a scene where Martin Heiss meets Patty's uncle, and then when they see each other for the first time, it's like Lost.
Daniel Faraday.
And it's like they remember everything.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
flashes,
it's like those flashbacks or whatever.
Oh dude, Frozen Donkey Wheel. Yeah. That sounds great.
I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up because we've been talking a lot lately about the future of the franchise, and when Ivan talks about when he talks about wanting to combine the universes, it's really there's only a couple ways you can do that logically. You're either doing a multiverse where there's like 2 established timelines that somehow cross over, or you're going to do what I think is harder to pull off, the retroactively revealing that this is the same Ghostbusters universe, and for whatever reason...
Revisionist history, yeah.
For whatever reason...
Trying to make up a reason for it to work out.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying that if it would have been really cool to plant those seeds a little stronger within Answer the Call.
Yeah, it could have been intentional and worthwhile and have a payoff.
Because if you... I don't want to go too far on this because God knows we've talked about it a lot, but if you think about Bill Murray's character in Answer the Call, and you think, it's not unlike Venkman. He's snarky. He's kind of an asshole,
Surly, sarcastic,
kind of funny.
Yeah.
You think about Dan Aykroyd's character in Answer the Call. He's knowledgeable about ghosts. You think about Ernie Hudson's character. He's there solely basically to provide them with a car. If you go
and to make money, right?
Yeah, if you go the Lost theory, like they're all there subconsciously as alternate versions of themselves hey, Bill Murray's character Martin Heiss was a driving force for them to try harder, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like
you're right. And Peter Venkman, like, he also liked to go out the wrong door.
Yeah. He liked to go in the wrong door, probably. Hey,
there's already enough people in there.
There it is. And then if you want to go further with the Harold Ramis bust, you see the bust at Columbia. You could make the argument that he was a physics teacher, and maybe he taught Aaron at some point. Like, they all played roles in forming the Ghostbusters in that other universe.
God, there's so much satisfaction in actually thinking of them interacting. That was the stuff that I liked reading in that comic book, was like specifically seeing Egon and Holtzman's relationship. Like, those were the things that made me laugh out loud while I was reading the comic. And
I just think it's messed up that Harold Ramis didn't want to do the movie.
I think it's really fucked up.
What a dick, right?
Hey, I also had the idea of, like, what if... Oh, God, this is getting total nerd.
Are we just now getting total nerd?
Hey, how's that for a third? But, like, the idea that... So this is another idea that I was toying with the other day. So at some point in the past, after the video game takes place, there's some event, some supernatural event. Egon is sacrificed, but they never find his body, and it's revealed maybe through a comic book at some point that he actually crossed over into this parallel universe and almost like has a subconscious like will to go be a physicist and get involved with this stuff, but doesn't necessarily remember being a Ghostbuster. I don't know. It's not going to happen.
Deep.
I'm just going deep.
I'm squinting pretty hard right now.
You're rambling here. This is good.
I think it's good.
Here's the thing. We all want it to connect, but we want it now.
Yeah, so we want it our way.
We don't want to wait, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
wanted it to already connect.
Yes.
We want it now.
What is Zool? That's your connection.
What is Zool?
All right, you guys ready to get even more stressed than we already are?
I'm already very stressed because we've been
right.
writing fan fiction for the last 30 minutes.
Hey,
Someone's gotta.
I can't stand up right now.
Whoa.
What? Well, we're recording.
It's just-
I don't want to unplug the microphone.
No, you can't. It
All right.
happens.
There we go. Time to get
Careful.
stressed.
You look a little stressed.
Is this some radical new therapy?
Why don't you do something with your life?
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Very stressed.
All right, cool. Jake's laughing.
I can't stand up.
Through the magic of editing, there's music.
Getting stressed.
We're gonna get sued by
getting
Cake.
nuts. Oh, Cake. I saw them at the
Is that a Cake song?
once.
It is a Cake song.
I don't know
Yeah.
that song.
Short girl with a what's
she
it
got?
called?
Short skirt?
Short skirt, long jacket.
There it is.
Damn
Cool.
it.
Abigail,
Yeah.
what are you stressed?
Am I stressed first?
I can
you
go
have.
first.
Do you have? I think you're stressed because you don't know what your stress is.
I do know what my stress
got
is.
stress?
I'm gonna stress you both out.
You
right
guys
now.
were already talking about my stress when we started. Yeah, I'm stressed about Stephen King stuff. a couple weeks ago, I was on StephenKing.com looking through the website, and I saw a book tour announcement for a book called Sleeping Beauties that he's releasing with his son Owen, and that's coming out in September, on September 26th. And there is going to be a book tour for this, which is like amazing because Stephen King has become like kind of a recluse when it comes to like, you know, public outings and signings and stuff like that. You know, he lives up in Maine, and from Jake telling me, I know that he has like a summer home in Sarasota, Florida. So I'm looking at these, the tour dates, and the last night of the tour is October 6th in Sarasota, Florida, which is close to us, which means we're going to go, because all these other tour dates are kind of like scattered across the country, in places that are very far away from me. So the fact that it's happening, and I'm not like sure of all these details, because like we were talking earlier, it's like, it's difficult to make sure that you can like get inside the event, because a lot of people like show up for this kind of like Star Wars celebration, like going to see a trailer. Like they camp out from like what I've heard, because it's going to be like there's no guarantee that you're going to get in to hear him speak, and he's doing a speaking. And there's no signing, but you do get a copy of the book, and only 400 of those copies are signed. So there's like a kind of a gamble
so
and a
complicated.
risk. Yeah, dude, I'm like, I'm obviously stressed about it. But I'm super excited, and I also want to follow him home to his like summer home and see where that is, and like probably, I don't know, like I'm just stressed about being in his presence in general, because like he's become such a huge part of my life and such a massive inspiration to me. And I just finished reading The Dead Zone, and it was so good. And I'm stressed because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to finish before October 6th. I know I wanted to read Christine because, Jake, you told me, isn't there the car, Christine, is like somewhere down in Florida, like nearby there or something like that?
There were like 27 cars used in the movie or something like that, and there's only 2 that still exist. One is in a private collection, like in California. The second one was restored. It's in Florida, and the guy like takes it to events, and you know, he sells stuff, and you can see the car and stuff. So
yeah. So it's like, I want the most.
Christine's really good. You should read it. It's been one of my favorites that I've read so far, and I really like them. Have you seen the movie?
No, I have not seen it. So.
I really, really like the movie, and so far a lot of the books that I've read, once I go back and rewatch the movie, it kind of makes you like, oh shit, this isn't as good now.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm stressed about The Dead Zone right now.
I think Christine is the movie's still very different from the book, but I still really like it. Christine's good. You should read that.
Yeah, I'm into it. I saw it at my local Honey Hole, Dave's Comics, which has like a really nice box that's full of what they say are first editions, but I'm not sure are actual first editions. But I bought the Tommyknockers there at this comic book store, and I saw a copy of Christine. It did not have the slipcover on it, but I still want to go back and get it. They also had a nice copy of It, which was like in really good condition, and I think I want to go buy that too. So if you're listening, don't go to Dave's Comics and buy those for me, because I want them. Also, I really have been chasing Salem's Lot, and I was listening to the Stephen King cast Dead Zone episode today on my walk, and he was talking about characters in Salem's Lot, and apparently like one of the main characters struggles with alcoholism, and like there's like, I don't know, vampires and haunted house stuff, and I'm like, all right.
Oh, you can relate to you were a vampire.
I was a vampire once for 7 years. No, anyway, yeah, dude, I want to get Salem's Lot, and like just the whole like wanting to read in like chronological order of release, and like the fact that there's so many Easter eggs and things that build upon things. And then also, oh my God, listening to Stephen King cast was stressing me out, because he kept talking about the novels that take place in Castle Rock, because Dead Zone had a portion of the book that took place in Castle Rock. And with that show coming out, all the books that take place there are like now even higher up on my list. But then there's Christine, but then there's Salem's Lot. And I also want to read The Stand, which is fucking huge. So I don't know what to read next, but I'm going to make the decision in the next like 24 hours, because I don't like being without a book. I feel naked. I feel weird. I'm just stressed out about Stephen King and The Mist.
I was just perusing our Facebook group, the S House Group Therapy, and Stephanie Monica commented. And
what's up, girl?
Here's a question for you two. She has stress. And she said, "This is great. This is like Love
Line.
This is like Love Line."
Dr. Drew.
All right, Dr. Drew
Dr. Steven.
and Adam Carolla here. Her stress was she's never read a Stephen King book, and she wants to know what to start.
Carrie. As a female, I'd say Carrie all the way. Go with Carrie first.
All right, Jake.
I don't know. My first was It, and it's been my favorite. I didn't love Carrie. I think it was good, but it definitely. I don't think Carrie would be what I would tell somebody to read the first. I think I would maybe go The Shining, just because it's like when you think of Stephen King, The Shining is one of the top, and it's hard for me to tell someone to read it first, because even though I think that's
The Shining is like his best work.
Everything I've read, I think it is the best. It's always going to be my favorite, but it's also 1,200 pages long, and he gets a little long-winded with some things in it, and maybe that shouldn't be everybody's first. But The Shining is a good size.
Yeah.
It's not too big. It's not too small.
I like how judicious you're being about this.
And it's
I think
The
I
Shining.
agree.
It's The Shining.
Yeah. I have a special place for Carrie when I was listening to.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
When I was listening to the Stephen King cast, he was talking, he was giving a list of, Stephen King's most iconic villains, and he mentioned Carrie, and I was like, she is not a villain. She is a good person. I just really identified with her character, and the book made me cry, so that's why I'd say.
Right.
I'm part of this podcast, and I have a recommendation,
because I'm psychic.
So The Green Mile was released in 5 parts. Read the third one first.
Yeah, that's the best one.
and then you're
Read
good.
the first 10 pages of The Gunslinger.
Yeah, I've read The Gunslinger. It's the only Stephen King book I read, and it was great. I did start The Stand. I'm still on chapter 3.
That's a big book. That's like his biggest
very
book.
phlegmy.
They talk about phlegm a lot in that book.
Yeah.
That book's bigger than it.
Big.
Here's the exciting
And are
part.
you reading the? There's 2 versions of The Stand.
I'm reading the original. The not updated one.
So that one has, I think, if I'm correct, that one has about 400 pages that the other one doesn't.
I've got the first time complete and uncut version of The Stand in my lap.
Okay, that's the one.
Now.
Yeah, that one has 400 more pages.
Yeah, that one is fucking 1,153.
Of just nonsense.
Whoa,
from what
spoilers! I'm seeing
Like-
pictures, guys. I don't need to know that.
Here's the
God.
thing. I'm about to go on a 12-hour road trip by myself, and I do have the Audible copy of
That's the way to do it.
The Stand. So
nice.
I'll probably start that. Get 10 minutes in.
You'll probably you'll get a quarter of the way through it.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
It's cool.
But I like that. So we can use that as another reminder. If you've got stress, if you've got questions, you want them answered on the podcast, you want to shout out.
Book questions,
shout outs, things like that. Let us know on anywhere, but specifically, have some group therapy. And if you're not in there, go to the page, search it,
start
and then join, and then we'll approve you, and then we'll
send us a nude. Don't do that. That was a joke. That's just
you can send us nudes, maybe,
but don't. Yeah,
but also don't.
Less than 8s need not apply.
Stop. Whoa.
I didn't say gender. I'd look at a naked
very
dude.
Open.
I don't care.
It's good.
It's
all
good.
of it.
All right, and we've devolved again.
We've devolved.
Abigail,
Yeah.
what stress do you have?
That was Stephen King stuff is stressing me out. I guess when we were set to record, 2 weeks ago, the biggest thing that was stressing me out was the Guardians of the Galaxy ride opening at the Disney in California, which is whatever the adventure park. Dude, that ride looks amazing. It took over the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror space, and it's the collector's mansion, and I'm just sad that I'm not there. I was looking at Harley Quinn Smith's Instagram stories, and she was there on opening day. And then I went on YouTube and watched the entire opening of the ride. And there's an animatronic rocket who gives you instructions on what you're gonna do once you get inside the elevator. And I was getting mad because all the people that were about to get on the ride didn't look nearly as excited as I would have been. Because Rocket pops up first, you just see his tail, and then he's above you in another place.
Wait, does he give you the right instructions though?
No,
he
barely in character is whatever, you're rushing and you're
because I could see Rock be don't even worry about that seatbelt, you're not going to need it.
Yeah, because I stole it or whatever. It's it looks amazing, all the in keeping with the kind of the theme of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. There's Easter eggs everywhere, and inside you see all the collector's stuff, and I don't know what it all is, but it looks very cool, and I want to be there and I want to see it. And that I can't because it's on the other side of the country and it just looks really fucking cool. The Collider.com put out like a bunch of pictures though if you look on their website of the ride and of all the Easter eggs and of the opening day. So that looks awesome. And yeah, I wish I could be there, guys. I'm just sad.
Hey, this is completely off topic, but I just read there's a headline, breaking news. Joel Schumacher is truly sorry for Batman and Robin.
Wait a minute. He said he was sorry in like the post, like the additional special features of that movie.
Here's a Joel Schumacher quote. After Batman and Robin, I was scum. It was like I had murdered a baby.
Oh my God, you have to click on this.
No, it's probably clickbait. All right. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt. But you were talking about superheroes. I want to talk about superheroes.
Yeah, this is way more stressful, though. The fact that Joel Schumacher compared that to murdering a baby.
Yeah, because murdering a baby is way more acceptable than Batman.
Yeah, people are like way more okay with that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
What other stress you got?
Honestly, I think
that wraps it up.
That was about it for me, yeah.
Well, the Stephen King stress is real. I think.
Oh yeah, the Mist trailer. That was the other last bit of the Stephen King stress. There was a second trailer for the Mist that came out. That's going to be out. I think June 22nd.
It's coming soon.
So I'm excited
Real
to
quick,
see it, but like nervous.
Let's recap. We've got the Mist TV show coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We've got what's the other one? The other TV show you were just
Castle Rock.
I almost said Gravity Falls. Castle Rock.
Dude, I like Gravity Falls though.
And then we've got the movie's coming out, and then we've got Dark Tower. So
and there's also Gerald's Game that's coming out soon.
So there's a lot of Stephen King happening. We're all gonna
read faster.
We're all gonna go see the book tour in Sarasota, and maybe we'll do a little podcast from there.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can find out where that car is. That Christine, I think it's in Sarasota.
Hey, maybe we can
Sounds
interview
good.
the car.
Yeah, we'll interview it.
That's a good idea.
We gotta come on. Stephen King should come on the podcast.
That
He'll
you
do it.
said that the other day, and like my reaction, I would melt into like so many bodily fluids. I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
I'd talk to him.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'd have to like prepare myself.
I would just ask him about the first 3 chapters of The Stand.
Gunslinger.
And then,
Steve, now that we got you here, why is there an orgy scene in it?
Yeah.
no, we get Stephen King on the show. It's the 3 of us. You guys are freaking out, and then me and him talk about baseball for an hour.
Yeah, talk about golf or something.
Oh man.
Wait, does he golf?
He's such a dad. No, but
He's such a dad.
Baseball.
Cool. Well, Abigail,
Yeah.
thank you for your stress.
Yeah.
Guys, I got some stress too. We
Let's
asked you
hear
about
it.
it.
Gotta hear it.
We want to know.
I think I'm about to stress you guys out, and I don't want to.
Oh, God.
I don't want to do this to you.
Yeah.
You already are.
You already did with that Joel Schumacher bit.
That's not my stress. It is. We're recording this on June 13th. Guess what's less than 3 months from now?
Oh my God, it's Dragon Con.
It's almost Dragon.
Whoa.
Dragon
It's
Con.
almost Dragon. Guys,
Jesus Christ.
Dude.
it feels like just yesterday
Back on the dragon.
we were at our first Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Whoa. Are we
Eyes
gonna-
wide open, looking to have sex.
Dude, everything was open.
I don't even
Very
know.
open.
I don't know if that's true or not.
That's why you go the first time.
It's
just
about to
be
get. All
honest.
right, we're moving on to the R-rated portion of the show. I feel like 90% of the people at Dragon Con are just looking to have sex.
Yeah. You're all at a hotel. And you're all in costumes. It's late.
It's like Eyes Wide
fun.
Shut with Magic the
Oh,
Gathering.
Better
God.
acting. And more satisfying, because Eyes Wide Shut just pissed me off. I felt like there should have been a lot more cool shit that happened in that movie.
Yeah, I feel like at some point Tom Cruise.
Also,
should
I'm just
become a
mad at
mummy.
Tom Cruise right now.
Just Tom Cruise, yeah. What the fuck?
So yeah, Dragon Con's coming up. And they've been slowly but surely rolling out the guest announcement. And you guys know I do this thing with every convention. I get really excited about the guest list. I talk about all the autographs I'm going to do, all the photo ops.
Plan it out.
And then as it gets closer, I start, it's almost like I put people on the
Self-sabotage. Let's talk about it.
It's more like American Idol. Like I start with a list of like 30 possible autographs, and I start voting people off.
Yeah.
And then I get down to 1. That's what it's like.
Got it.
But
Get
the
rid of
guest
the
list
country
is
guy.
gotta get rid of him. The R&B guy's pretty good, but
Who brings a guitar in? It's just a distraction.
so have you guys been paying attention to this guest list?
No, not at all. I haven't even looked. Yeah.
I know that Sean Gunn was confirmed. That was
Michael Rooker. They'll both be there. Stan Lee's going to be there. It's going to be probably his last appearance at Dragon Con. So it's
that line
cool.
will be long. Yeah.
And today they announced a couple Star Wars people. Peter Mayhew's going to be there, which is cool. Daniel Logan, young Boba Fett.
Oh, is that cool?
It's not very cool.
It's not cool.
We've
heard some things.
So yeah, they're starting to roll out the guest list. But the other day, on the Dragon Con Reddit thread, people were talking about wanting guests, and somebody said, "What do we have to do to get Val Kilmer here?"
Oh shit!
And guess what? He replied.
He was on there?
Yeah, he was just on the thread.
Oh, that's great.
And he said...
The bat signal's not a beeper.
That's what he said. No, Val Kilmer replied and he was like, hey, I've notified my manager. They're going to get in touch and explore this as a possibility.
Dude.
So, I think
that means I have to wear my Riddler costume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
What if he tries to fight you?
I thought you were going to say something other than fight. I was like, okay.
What if he tries to fuck you?
We're just, it's all fun. That's why we go there. It's why we try.
What if Joel Schumacher's there?
Well,
no, I think it would be really cool. Like, I think we talked about Batman Forever a lot on the show. Val Kilmer, I like Val Kilmer. He's a legitimate movie star.
Yeah.
I know he's been sick and
he was
stuff.
one of my first crushes as Iceman.
I would like to meet Val Kilmer. And I think one thing with Dragon Con is they don't always have the greatest guest list, right?
They have some redundant, repetitive guests.
Yeah. If you're into Battlestar Galactica, it's perfect.
You're set up.
If you like
If
Doctor
you were
Who,
into Battlestar Galactica 6 years ago, but not so much now. Then.
But you guys don't have to
long ago
answer
it
this
came out.
now, and maybe we've talked about it before, but I like thinking about who are your dream guests? Like, who is somebody who you would just really want to meet in a convention setting?
I feel like it would be obvious to say Stephen King.
He's not doing Dragon
They do
Con.
get some offers, though. So, guys! He said dream scenario. Well, James Gunn came a couple years ago. I didn't meet him, but I went to his panel and was in one of the first rows, so that was pretty satisfying.
There's a fake
Chris Pratt.
There's a fake James Gunn picture going around the internet right now of him holding his Ghostbusters script.
Yeah. That's upsetting. It's not even funny.
It looks really good. The picture looks real, but it's obviously
Photoshopped really well.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Maybe we'll pose that question on Twitter or something.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts too.
Dream guests.
Set it up. Dreamcast.
I'm trying to think. I mean, you want to say Bill Murray, but he's not going to ever do conventions.
Sigourney Weaver has been on that list for a long ass time.
I would love for her to do Dragon Con. Or Linda
sure.
Hamilton.
Oh, god damn it. It's the 25th anniversary of Terminator 2, so yeah. Get her on, get on Reddit and ask her to come out. I hope she's hanging out.
I don't think Linda Hamilton's on Reddit.
You don't think she's on Reddit?
No, she's doing pull-ups.
Yeah. Jillian Michaels.
Cool. So yeah, that's part of my Dragon Con stress. The other stress is we've got PKE Surge coming up. We got a plan for that. We've got costumes. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're redoing your flight suit?
Yeah, I'm doing, I'm taking my black flight suit, I'm turning it into a GB2 suit. I'm planning on, I may as well reveal it, doing a little teenage John Connor from Terminator 2. I've already found the Public Enemy t-shirt, and I'm going to get a little Power Wheels motorcycle, and I'm really excited to hang out by the ATM and get easy money.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're planning Dragon Con costumes, and it's becoming that last minute, mad dash, making lists and wanting to check them off.
We got a couple months, but... and Jake, I think I talked to you about wanting to try to think of some other casual costumes to do, but nothing's really coming to mind.
I just don't know what to do,
Huh?
I thought we had one.
What?
Is it a secret costume?
I don't think so. What is it?
The Jaws Ride employees?
Oh, yeah.
That's my idea. I don't know if it's the contest winner, but it's definitely an idea.
I feel like every day of my life I'm on the Jaws ride.
Jean shorts, light blue t-shirt, belt, headset.
The headset.
Good
makes the whole
attitude.
thing. Good attitude.
Positive attitude.
I wonder what they should do a
Willingness to
mockumentary about what happened to all the people that worked on the Jaws ride, after it closed.
Yeah.
There's a guy who used to work on that. You can find these videos on YouTube, and he whenever he moved back home or whatever, there's a video of him on YouTube in his Jeep.
Yeah.
And he has a recording of the music and they talk to you you know, like when they're talking on the radio. He has a recording of it. He plays it on his Jeep, drives people around in his Jeep in town doing the Jaws ride.
Oh my God. Dude, I like that. Yeah, that's my idea is we dress like them, we have headsets, we project that, and then like somebody dresses up as a giant shark and like comes and interrupts every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes they attack us and we use a shotgun to shoot them.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then we'll need a couple people to sit in front of us, and when the fireball goes off, they go, wow, you can really feel that heat.
Oh, God. And every time the shark appears, chant shark.
10 minutes? We'll be shark bait in 10 minutes.
Shark, shark,
Shark, shark, shark.
Hey, speaking of sharks, did you guys see the video of the cam girl who got bit by a shark?
Hold on, what is she?
She's like,
But that was
Wait, is that a shortened version
no.
of
It came
Webcam
out.
Girl?
It came out that was not real.
no!
It came out
Damn it.
that was like a hoax or something.
Oh, man.
It was like a webcam girl in a shark cage.
Yeah,
got
she got
bit?
like bit on the foot or
Because
something.
someone
but
was
yeah,
paying her
it's not
money for
real.
that to
The
film
sharks were
herself in a
giving
shark
the
cage?
sharks were giving her bitcoins,
Oh, my
and-
God.
and she was supposed to do something.
Oh, man.
I don't know what she was going to
Cool.
do.
Yeah, I've got to think about
You know
how
the
I
Led
feel about
Zeppelin
this.
story.
What?
You don't remember that?
What?
On the old behind the music for Led Zeppelin, this is like one of the famous things. Like they were known for having like lots of groupies and stuff.
Yeah.
And the groupies would do anything to get in.
So they put him in a shark cage?
No, one of the groupies,
Something?
she did something with a shark.
What?
Okay.
How do you even do that?
Magic? I don't know. I don't know what she did. Well, I think I know what she did. I think it was a small shark.
All right.
Wow.
Hey.
Let's move on.
New take
Hey,
on.
I like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, this is.
Oh,
I don't.
Speaking
And
of
I don't
that-
even like that.
this is my other stress. We
I'm
should probably
stressed
talk
about
it.
everything that we just talked about.
Adam West, he passed away.
Yeah, speaking of groupies.
Yeah, and that's actually what made me think of it. There was an article today about, there's all these articles out about Adam West, and everybody's just coming out saying he was the greatest guy. He was so nice, so charming. You wouldn't want to be around anybody else but Adam West. Although I think Chase Ambrose has a different take.
No.
Because he's told that story before. But apparently when Adam West and Burt Ward were shooting Batman, they had like groupies waiting for them. Is that a PC term?
Fans?
They had
I don't
fans. And this article came out this week that said Adam West was hooking up with up to 8 women per day during the height of Batman.
Wow.
And I was just like, I don't know what he's got in that utility belt, but
Right.
he's
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah,
the girl
what is
at
it?
Led Zeppelin needed some of that
Shark
to-
repellent. Boom. Bam. Nice save.
There we go.
That's what you needed. I was working on the repellent, but you got there before I did, so good.
But in all seriousness, it's Adam
We
West.
miss you, Adam West.
He was older.
Yeah.
But you don't think he was like 88?
I watched the TV show growing
But he
up, so.
would do a lot of conventions and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the classic Batman a lot. So see you on the other side, Mr. West.
Yeah.
We'll miss you.
Yeah.
We should probably set that at the top of the show. Stay tuned for Craig's dedication to Adam West an hour into the show.
After the Led Zeppelin story. Oh, we'll see if you make it. Oh.
Okay. But that's my stress.
That's good stress.
That's good stress.
Great stress.
We got Dragon Con coming up.
Yes.
It's going to be good. We'll be talking about it a lot more.
Yeah, we're getting to it.
We'll get into it.
Jake.
But Jake,
Yo.
Hey.
you got some stress
Yes.
this week?
Yes.
Oh,
Moving on to
God.
Jake. Are you stressed?
Jesus.
You've sat through it all.
Yeah.
You know, I've had this stress building for the last couple of weeks, and we took a little bit of a break off of recording for a week. I don't even know when the last time we've done an actual recording was.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
been
like
like-
it was like 2 weeks ago
Yeah,
or
it's been
something.
like 2 weeks. It was a long break for
So,
us.
so this was my stress then, but something happened to elevate the stress. Now, the stress started with this whole like dark universe thing that's happening.
Right.
They're trying to make a shared universe out of, the Universal monsters, which sounds cool.
On paper.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it sounds cool. And you know what? Like, I'll go ahead and say it right off the bat. The old Universal monster movies, they were also a shared universe. They had all their own films,
right?
But after they made them all, they started being in each other's movies. It was like the first shared universe, whatever. So it doesn't sound stupid to try to do it now. I mean, maybe they are, just trying to cash in off of everyone else and Marvel's success with it, but still it could work, right?
Yeah.
So this week The Mummy came out, which is the first movie in the Dark Universe, and it's something. It's weird. I think you guys might have watched it. I didn't. I didn't pay to watch it. We're not sure
if we did.
We're gonna talk about it.
We'll get back to that.
We're gonna put it this way: we all saw a lot of it.
We saw some of it.
We saw enough of it.
We saw
enough to know.
Here's the thing: when you're starting a universe in the film industry, what I like is that the first thing in the movie you see is a logo that just says Dark Universe. Like, what the what does that even mean?
First of all, The Mummy is the weirdest movie to start it with. If you're gonna it's nobody's favorite. The Mummy, it's like it has a place there, but it's nobody's favorite monster.
Because it feels non-specific. Because it's Frankenstein's monster, you know what that is. Dracula, you know who that is. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Bride of Frankenstein.
Got iconography with the look and the face and the aesthetic. The Mummy is kind of covered up, and you're like, is it a curse? What's going on? So they're like, let's just do Enchantress. Continue.
And on top of that, the Mummy in this movie is barely in this movie.
Yeah,
they only have one sequence of her that they play 4 times over and over, and it's like a fucking perfume commercial. It's very silly.
It's weird, and they've already got cast they cast Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man. They've already cast Frankenstein's monster, and it's what's his name, Javier Bardem.
Bardem, yeah.
And it's so weird. And the next film in the franchise, if it even happens at this point, because The Mummy is kind of bombing, it's doing well overseas, and they're saying that's gonna save it.
Right.
It's overseas money might save this Dark Universe because it did shit here. But the next film in the series is Bride of Frankenstein. When does it make sense to introduce the Bride of Frankenstein before Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're doing.
Well, it's just that new feminist agenda.
I'm biting. It sounds like I want to know who's in it, but after seeing The Mummy, or at least parts of it, I'm like, maybe not.
It's just weird, and I'll tell you what the biggest problem is that after seeing The Mummy, it's pretty apparent that they don't know what kind of route they want to go. This movie doesn't know what kind of movie it is. It tries to be very action-y. It tries very badly at being funny in some places.
Jesus. When Tom Cruise is nude. He's like, what are you doing in here? I was almost fucking dead, but now I'm ready to make a joke.
There's really bad jokes in it. The guy from Jurassic World is in it, and he's awful in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's just it goes through so many different kinds of genres, and one genre that it should be, which is horror, it barely ever happens.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem is you can't have a movie called The Mummy and then The Mummy's barely in it and it's all Tom Cruise. It's you can't. That's not the movie's got to be about the Mummy, not Tom Cruise. That's the biggest problem, is that they're going to put big stars in these movies,
right?
And it's not there's an article came out with John Landis talking about these movies, and he was the biggest thing is they're not respecting these monsters, and that's your biggest problem. That's a movie can be made. You can remake a movie and it will work. You just got to do it right.
Pay homage, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and you are a fan of the original stuff, so you are probably even more so confused, and I understand.
It's just, it's confusing. And you know what? Like, it's weird for them. Another reason it's weird for The Mummy to be the first movie is because, like, they just made a whole series of Mummy movies. And I don't know. I don't want to say they just made it. It was probably over 10 years ago at this point. But still, it still feels recent. And it's like you still feel like a lot of people know about those movies. The fucking Rock was in one of them, you know? Like,
yeah, but like, kind of to your point, like the way Marvel would start with Iron Man or Captain America, like start with your big, well-known guys. Like, don't go with a B-side necessarily, like, right to begin with.
Well, Devil's Advocate, though, like, before, the bigger problem is that whatever you start with, come out with a bang. And they didn't.
Be decisive.
They did, yeah.
They were I feel like that international money was probably just from Tom Cruise, like from his name being. Like,
well, that's the thing.
Probably.
They're like, oh, it's Mission Impossible with a zombie.
So, a couple thoughts. One, I've never understood the Tom Cruise thing. I've never, like, I get it in the 80s.
I got it when I was like 5 years old and I watched Top Gun and I had a massive like crush on him. But after watching Going Clear and like knowing what I do about Scientology, I'm like, I have a difficult time. And I don't want to be one of those people that can't separate like an actor's politics or like personal life from their performance. But it colors it when you've. I
mean, I like the Mission Impossible movies and stuff, and like, cool, Jerry Maguire. But like, who cares? Honestly, like, I don't like seeing Tom.
Dude, I'm all about Katie Holmes.
I'll put it this way: Tom Cruise does not mean box office in America the way it did 20 years ago.
It's he's been around for too long at this point. And you know what? I don't have a problem with Tom Cruise, and I actually kind of like him for this reason alone. He's become such a big star that whatever he's interested in, whatever movie he wants to be in, it's going to get made, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if you like look at the movies he's done in the last, 10 years or so, there are a lot of movies that are good, weird, like sci-fi movies that we've never seen. He's like he might be a weird guy in real life.
Minority Report.
But he's into like the kind of movies he wants to make. They're like risks, and they're movies that you wouldn't see. He's not making like risky business anymore.
Right.
He's making all these like weird fucking sci-fi movies, and like that, I like that. But still, this movie that doesn't save like this movie.
So let's talk about this. So you've got this dark universe, and we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. So the studios seem obsessed with this notion of building out cinematic universes. Marvel has done it very successfully. I guess who else is like we know what DC's doing. Wonder Woman was great.
Definitely.
It was the first one that has worked.
Yeah. It was entertaining, delightful.
Outside of comic books, I mean, what else is?
There isn't a whole lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, Fast and the Furious. You could. Those movies are extremely successful, but it's not really a universe. They're just all sequels.
Yeah.
So the studios are obsessed with this idea of having this big interconnected thing, but it just seems like they're putting the cart before the horse. Like, it should be like, hey, let's make really great movies, and if we can connect them down the line, great, so be it. But I'm looking at the Dark Universe lineup right now. And they are planning in the next, 5-6 years, you've got Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Van Helsing, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. You're telling me that all these movies are going to actually get made?
No.
I don't see it. And there's going to be 5 Avatars also. Like, 5 there's no way.
Like, it just seems like... So, Bill Condon is directing Bride of Frankenstein, which is the next one in 2019. He just did Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing is it's being written by David Koepp, who we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. He wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. He's written a lot of great stuff.
Okay.
He also did he not also do the screenplay for this? For the Mummy?
It looks like there's about 7 writers on the Mummy.
Yeah, it felt like there were about 7
but
writers.
that comes through in the movie. So let's actually talk about that. It feels very... it feels like a movie by committee. It feels like they had about 10 different people pulling it in 10 different directions. And, like, Jake, the first thing you said after you watched it, you saw it before us, was that you just thought the tone of the movie shifted so much that it just never knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah, it felt like a playful action, like Indiana Jones thing in the beginning. And, like, the relationship between, I think their names were Jenny and Nick, who, by the way, it felt like Nikki and Paolo from Lost got their own movie, because I didn't care about them the whole time. But, yeah, the very basis of their relationship reminded me of Lost, Jurassic World, where it's like, oh, we hooked up once, like, recently, and it didn't go so well, so, like, that's the tension. I'm just like, fuck that shit. It's not interesting. But, yeah, then it shifts very quickly, because the Jurassic World, I don't want to know the name of that actor, the guy who's, like, the desk, whatever. About it. Like their banter and all that stuff, it's so stilted and weird, and then yes, it quickly shifts into being a different type of movie, and not good. But I feel like you probably know more about this, so go ahead and carry it, Jake.
You're just talking about like the tone or whatever. Still, it's just
you've seen the whole thing.
I think the biggest problem is that it should have been a horror movie, and like it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a horror movie in the same way that like Blair Witch is a horror movie. It's just like these movies are about monsters. They were originally horror films. It can be a horror movie and not be like gory or not be jump scares. It just should be a horror movie. Like I don't understand why the first couple minutes we're running around jumping from gunfire and making quips to each other, and also that fucking character, what's his name, Jake Johnson or something?
Johnson,
is that his name?
That's his
He's so fucking annoying in this movie. Yeah, everything he says, his voice makes me want to fucking rip my ears out in this movie. And then like I'm happy because he dies pretty early. I'm like, okay, cool, he's dead. But then he keeps popping up. And I'm like, what is happening? And guys, can we talk, like, dude, let's talk about how at the end of this movie, out of nowhere, like, I don't understand what happened. But all of a sudden, like, Tom Cruise is, like, sacrificing himself, becoming a mummy. He's a mummy now. He's like sucking the life out of the mummy, and now he's a monster, and he brings his friend back to life. A child wrote this movie. Like a kid was like, this is like some little kid's bedtime story or something that he makes up as he goes. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It certainly does suck. Yeah. It's... Well, like I said, it just doesn't. It never really knows what it wants to be. And as I was watching it, I just felt an overwhelming sense of boredom. I was like,
Russell Crowe.
Oh my god! Can we please talk about Dr. Jekyll?
Can we talk about how like they play up him turning? You know, he keeps like taking his little medicine so he doesn't turn.
Yeah.
You get like clips of him in the trailer, and you're like, oh shit, I wonder what like Mr. Hyde's gonna be like.
Yeah.
And then when he finally turns, it's just like a different voice.
The laugh-factation.
It's just like accent. Oh, my eyes glow now, and I have a different voice, but otherwise, I'm 100% the same guy.
So whenever
captures all the original terror and horror of duality.
I've always loved the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and one thing I really like is the time period that it takes place. Do you guys think that they've made a big mistake by setting these movies in the modern era? Like, doesn't that take away from it?
Takes away a lot.
The charm? Yeah, because these are all, like, old public domain, like, books that you read, like, hardcover as a kid.
I want to see this taking place in, like, late 1800s London. Actually, I want to see everything taking place in late 1800s London.
There's just something about the fact that, like, when there's a mummy around, you could pick out, like, a cell phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube clip. Mummy on the loose.
Yeah, and she's cute, y'all.
I'd bang her.
Whoa, you gotta watch out, though. She's got that dagger with the jewel. It's a 2-part combo. It's very well thought out.
You gotta have both parts, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I just didn't care. Like, and Tom Cruise sacrificing himself to become a mummy, that doesn't make any sense. Because what a mummy is like, that was like a religious... like practice by ancient Egyptians to bury their dead and protect. I'm botching the storyline here, but whatever it wasn't that. It wasn't. You can't just be like, I'm a mummy now. Like, are you?
Right.
I just don't get what they're trying to do with.
Sorry.
No, I want someone to like mash up the scene from Top Gun where Tom Cruise is like lamenting Goose in his underwear in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, with like the scene where in The Mummy where he's talking to his friend who's the zombie now in the mirror.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I just want someone to do that.
Let's do it. Get it out there.
Let's make it happen.
Make it happen. I just don't understand what they're trying to do with that character. Like, at the end of the movie, they have Dr. Jekyll talking, and he's like, he's a monster now. Hopefully, he'll use his new powers for good. I'm just like, Jesus Christ! So is that the thing? Every monster movie now is going to be Tom Cruise coming in and being the good monster and fighting all the bad. Is that what we're going to get?
Yeah.
Is that what this fucking universe is?
Together, like
no wonder
Squad.
It's called the Dark Universe.
Yeah. The only thing that was dark was what we were watching.
In
the theater.
In the theater.
Yeah, it was dark in there.
It was
very
so
dark.
hard to see.
Oh, God. Yeah. I just don't know what they're doing, man. Like,
I'll tell you who's doing this right. And Jake, you're going to love me for saying this. We want to talk about universes besides Marvel.
let's do it.
I think that this monster universe of King Kong and Godzilla, they're doing it right.
They're doing it better.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, John C. Reilly, yeah. Why not be like, yeah?
You know what's weird though? The guy who's directing. Okay, so they're working on Godzilla 2 now. It's filming. There's a lot of big casting news coming out, and then Godzilla versus King Kong. I think it's supposed to be. I forget what year. 2019 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guy who's directing that. If you look back at the movies he directed that horror movie You're Next,
okay,
where they I don't know if you guys saw that. I didn't love it. He made this movie called The Guest, which I just watched recently, and it's really good. Mm-hmm. But it's not a movie you would watch and be like, give this guy Godzilla.
Right.
And
exactly.
I'm just like, whoa. I'm just like, who? It seems like a weird choice to give this guy a big monster movie.
Right.
I don't know where that came from. I mean, it's not something I'm worried about, but it's just I
always wonder about that because when you look at Colin Trevorrow, who went from Safety Not Guaranteed, which was a small little indie comedy, and he went from that to Jurassic World, and then you look at Patty Jenkins who did Wonder Woman, who's only done 2 movies. She did that movie Monster,
yeah,
which was
that's an old that came out a long time.
Yeah, and then she didn't do anything for 15 years, and then she did Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
so it's I don't know how that stuff works, but it's really cool, and I don't think we ever talked about that. They also announced the Skull Island TV show.
Whoa,
they did, yeah.
We haven't talked about that.
And I'm assuming that that's going to tie in with everything. So, guess what? That's how you do it. Release a good movie. Godzilla 2014 is not perfect, but it's definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's very good, and it doesn't try to set up a universe. That's probably the best thing about it. It's a Godzilla movie from beginning to end. They don't ever. There's never hey, King Kong's here. There's other.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking Godzilla movie. And King Kong is a King Kong movie. There's an after credit scene that show you that King Kong and Godzilla are in the same universe, but it's not you don't have to go out of your way to mess up your movie by showing, hey, there's going to be a future movie.
Yeah, you
Just
have to layer.
movie.
It's logical. Stephen King didn't release The Gunslinger or Dark Tower. You know what I mean? You have to slowly layer and build up and get used to and familiarize yourself with these individual stories before they become one amalgam. So.
Oh, and that's why it always circles back to this. But a couple years ago, after they had announced the Paul Feig Ghostbusters movie, and then the news broke about the Ghostbusters cinematic universe, that never really left a great taste in my mouth because I was like, hey guys, it's been about 30 years. Can we get one movie off the ground before we start talking about shit?
Yeah, James Cameron, calm down.
Yeah, and then a year later, I think that's the thing that always bums me out about Ghostbusters is we waited so long for a third movie. We got it, and we're almost a year later, and I still feel like we're in the same place we were before.
Right.
So it's just kind of frustrating. So, Marvel's doing it well. DC seems like they're going to get on track. Maybe. We'll
I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, so I can't say anything. But it just, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I think only things I've heard about Wonder Woman have been good. Everybody's talking good about it, and that's great. But it's like, at this point, I don't even give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't want to go.
You've been
pay
wronged.
Even like everyone's told me how great it is. I don't give a shit because you know what? I don't know anything about Wonder Woman. I've never cared about, like, I'm not a DC person to begin with.
Right.
But the DC movies that are going to get me to come watch are like Batman. That's it. And your fucking Batman movies have been awful for a very long time. So I don't.
You know what's weird about it is that a lot of it has to do with building up goodwill with your audience, right? And the thing is, maybe out of these 10 Dark Universe movies, there's going to be a couple good ones, right? But if you put out bad ones, people are going to stop caring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll always, we're never going to really know the answer to this, but I'll always wonder if Wonder Woman would have been really bad. I wonder how much that would, because now it feels like Justice League, even if it's not great, people are definitely going to still
They're going to go back to see her. Yeah, it puts like a better. I even saw Austin Young was saying he went back and watched Batman v Superman, like to see Gal Gadot's performance after watching Wonder Woman several times at theaters. Like, she's magnetic, she's really good on screen, and that was a really, it was a solid movie. Like, it wasn't perfect, but I don't think it's going to change the entire franchise. I don't think it's going to make Justice League any better.
I think Rotten Tomatoes right now, it matters so much more than it ever has because The Mummy got really bad reviews and people just didn't go. Like, that's just what happens now. Like, there's certain franchises, like Suicide Squad had so much build-up that even the bad reviews didn't stop it, but it's expensive to go to a movie, so if you're going to put out a shitty movie, don't expect a great box office return. And that's my statement.
Yeah. Suck it, Tom Cruise.
I like it.
I like it.
But also, Tom Cruise, come on the podcast.
Yeah, we miss you. Want to do an audit?
But yeah, overall, I get it.
Hook him up to the machine.
Overall, yeah, The Mummy is it's mediocre at best. Not even that.
Oh, it's confusing at best.
Yeah, not that entertaining. The special effects, it's all like stuff we've seen before. Nothing groundbreaking. The storyline was just kind of whatever. It didn't. Yeah. They didn't put like a really cool twist on the old story, and that's what you kind of expect.
Yeah, they didn't, and they stole shit from like even the last Mummy movie. Like, why have the Mummy kill people the same way the Mummy in the Brendan Fraser movie? And like, why do things when the Brendan Fraser Mummy came out, like, it was part of I remember always being in the trailer, the scene where there's like a sandstorm, but the Mummy's face was in the sand. Like, and I'm like, why do that again?
Right. We've already seen it.
Don't you want to distance yourself from that movie? Why are we ripping it off?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you what. This was the only
Easy
movie.
money.
Yeah, this was the only movie I've ever watched where I thought, man, I really wish Brendan Fraser was in this.
Dude, it made me want to go back and rewatch the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. I remember the first one being pretty enjoyable and fun to watch. And maybe the second one and whatever ones came after weren't as great. But that first one's it's not bad. It's much better than this movie.
I think you just nailed it on the head. This movie's not fun. And if your movie's not fun, it should be good. It should be one of those things.
Yeah. Thought-provoking, memorable. All those things.
So,
well executed.
Mummy bashing on Yes Have Some Podcast.
Yeah, bash that money. You gotta watch out, or Mummy. She's got a knife. Guys, yeah.
She's gonna get you, Dr. Jekyll.
Give you little kisses.
Russell Crowe's a great actor. I guess he just didn't know how this time.
Oh, it's just this one.
He's doing an accent. He's about to change. God. Well, cool. Well, that's some good stress, guys. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
We did it. We did the whole thing.
We did.
We ate the whole thing.
And cool. Well, I'm not going to ramble on as I usually do. I think we're going to wrap it up. So, as always, go to yeshavesomecast.com. Check us out. You can go to facebook.com/yeshavesomecast and join the what do they call it?
FaceTime group. Facebook group.
The face groups?
Yeah.
Join the face
Yes, have
groups.
some group therapy.
Yes, have some group therapy.
We have a group now.
Follow us on Twitter at YHS Podcast.
Post.
All that. What we want you guys to do is to come talk to us. Tell us your stress. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what movies you watched, what toys you bought, all that kind of stuff. And we'll all have fun. And then we're going to have more information on this as we go, but I would suggest everybody go check out somethingstranger.com for a little tease, for a little project. Just a little tease. Somethingstranger.com.
Cool.
And we'll be talking about
Treat.
more. It's a treat. We'll talk more about that as the summer rolls on.
Pop a waffle in.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Pop a waffle.
I want to pop a waffle.
Is that like someone married to your grandma? Grandma pancake? Pop a waffle?
Papa and Mama waffle.
All right. But yeah. And once again, thanks to everybody for tuning into our live show last week. Thank you for all the calls.
Yeah, thanks for calling. Thanks for stressing.
Cool. Guys, anything else
See you
before we
guys on
sign off?
Facebook.
Nah, that's it.
That's it?
That's it, y'all.
Done.
That's it?
That's it. Oh, are we doing accents? Am I Dr. Jekyll?
Yeah.
Or Mr.
And
Hyde?
I'm Mr.
Oh,
Hyde.
I'm Mr. Hyde.
And real quick, just random thought. I think I'm about to buy a bunch of Beetlejuice toys.
You thinking?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah?
I'm thinking about that.
I'm going to buy a bunch
You're
of
gonna
first
do it.
editions.
Yeah.
Stephen King books. I found a new bookstore I'm going tomorrow. I'm really excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for Yes Have Some Podcast, my name is Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, Jacob
Yeah.
Walsh.
Yep.
We're all here.
We're here, hanging out. We're ready to, get...
We're done?
Yeah, we're done.
It's
It's
over.
over.
This is over.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.